vote for doesn't matter.
What?
How could it possibly
I did not vote for Kamala Harris
Because she's black.
I did not want more of the same stuff going on
What stuff?
that went on during the Biden administration.
What stuff went on? What stuff went on?
10.5 million people came across the border, and that doesn't even count the people that came here legally initially.
Okay, but that wasn't in 4 years.
No, that wasn't in 4 years.
That was over a couple of decades.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, Lauren.
No, they did, but it didn't happen in 4 years.
If you did the research, Leonard, you would see that's not accurate.
Okay, what did Donald Trump do in 2016 for his 4 years about he said it was going to be a big, beautiful wall. It's going to be a big, giant, beautiful wall with a little door for it for the people that we like. What happened to that? You know what he did? He never built it.
Yes,
and Mexico didn't pay for it. The little bit of fence that he put up, the little bit of fencing that went up, we paid for. Yeah. Our taxpayers. Mexico didn't pay for anything. They were laughing at him. And you voted for that.
And what did Joe Biden do? He sold the material.
I'll tell you what Joe Biden did.
Bought for the fence.
I'll tell you what Joe Biden did. I'll tell you what Joe Biden did. Donald Trump
did nothing.
Okay, so why don't you be quiet and listen now, because you have no idea what you're talking about. Donald Trump promised us to buy. Why don't you? Hey, Lauren, don't you interrupt me. You asked a question. Now shut up, and I'm going to answer it. Joe Biden did something that Donald Trump promised he would do. It's called a bipartisan infrastructure bill, the CHIPS and Science Act. Joe Biden made it cheaper for people like me to get insulin capped at $35. Under Donald Trump's plan, when he first implemented that, it was not under Plan B or Plan D in most people's health coverage. Joe Biden implemented that. Joe Biden was the guy that had Joe Biden had record-breaking manufacturing jobs. Joe Biden brought our economy back. Okay, Donald Trump put us $8.2 trillion in debt. So when you say Joe Biden didn't do anything, what about the bill that was put together with Joe Biden and Jon Stewart to help our brave men and women in uniform that were suffering and didn't have medical benefits? You have no idea what you're talking about. I could go down a list of accomplishments that Joe Biden did, but I'll give you some of it because you want to talk about the border, right? You want to talk about the border because you're so concerned about those illegals, right? Because you don't want crime in this country. Yet you're the same guy that's totally okay with Donald Trump pardoning a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, our economy going down the tube. You're totally okay with unemployment numbers going up, inflation going up. You're totally okay with the lies of the Trump administration and the false promises about no tax on tips. You're totally okay with Donald Trump saying, I'm going to be a peaceful president. I won't start any new wars. Don't you give me the BS that Joe Biden didn't do anything. Don't you tell me that when Donald Trump said he was going to get the war over in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Want to talk about
and he
Trump.
Coddles evil, murderous dictators, okay?
If you want I can't talk about it because you've got me muted.
Yeah, well, first of all, you weren't muted, dumbass. It's called, hey, dumbass, it's my show. I can do whatever I want, and I mute you because every single time you talk, all of us are dumber, okay? You say Joe Biden didn't accomplish anything. We want to go one by one with me, buddy? You want to go one by one? How about that bipartisan infrastructure bill? Who said that they were going to do that bill? Did Donald Trump say he was going to get it done? Can you please tell me? Let's go one by one. Let's focus, Lauren. Who got that bipartisan infrastructure bill passed? Which president did that?
Neither one.
That's not true.
This guy is so stupid.
What about insulin? That's an easy one.
Hold on 1 second, Lauren.
Hey, I got diabetes.
Okay, I don't care whether you have diabetes, and I don't care whether you have 100 black kids. Okay, you're still stupid. Did you just say that Joe Biden didn't put together a bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed? Lauren,
I'm so glad.
Lauren, yes or no? Because we're going to prove on the air right now
That's objectively true.
How stupid you actually are, Lauren. Did you just say that Joe Biden did not pass a bipartisan infrastructure bill? Yes or no? Answer the question.
Oh, a bipartisan infrastructure bill? Yeah.
Why is it that I have to ask the same question 50 times for you to answer? Now I'm going to ask you another question. Who was the guy in office before Joe Biden who said that he was going to pass that bill? Who was the guy who said he was going to do that?
I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'll repeat it again, even though I have to repeat things 40 times, okay? Let me just repeat a fact. Donald Trump said he was going to put together a bipartisan infrastructure bill that would pass. He didn't do it. The guy that did it was a guy by the name of Joe Biden. You just said, quote, Biden did nothing. Who's the guy that actually put some gun control laws on the books? Bipartisan, more gun control bills that were passed and put on the books than in the last 30 years. Who was the president that did that, Lauren?
I have no idea.
Okay, of course you don't. If the guy's name is Joe Biden. Look it up.
Low information.
Who was the guy, okay, that implemented
low information voter?
Well, you don't know. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, Lauren.
He's a low information
You
voter.
have no idea what you're talking about. You said that Joe Biden didn't do anything. Who implemented the Chips and Science Act? Who did that, Lauren?
Oh, Joe Biden did it.
Thank
Brian.
you. So wait. So Lauren, when you say, now we can go one by one here. When you say, quote, Joe Biden did nothing, would you like to retract that statement, sir?
That's just the Fox News talking point.
Is something that Biden did.
Okay, sir, you said that Joe Biden, quote, did nothing. Would you like to retract that statement?
Brian.
Don't Brian me. Answer the question. Would you like to retract?
Retract what? What I told you, what I was talking about, that Biden didn't do anything, was about the border.
Oh, so now we're moving the goalposts about the border. So you see, Lauren would rather have people not getting due process in this country. Lauren would rather have people being sent to an El Salvador prison. People would rather have in this country
moms and dads and grandfathers being sent back. People who've been here 30 or 40 years.
But it's okay.
One guy last week got thrown on the ground and punched in the face. They took him at gunpoint for carrying a weed whacker.
But Lauren,
he's okay with that.
But Lauren, it's okay because you have diabetes and you have black kids. So we'll just let it slide. Lauren, listen, man.
The fact is,
you're an imbecile. You're an imbecile.
The majority of people are not being sent to El Salvador in prison.
The majority of these people are nonviolent.
Because of a federal judge's order.
The majority of these people are nonviolent criminals, but I'll never hear you say that about these people, right, Lauren?
People, you're lying.
Only because of the federal judge.
Wait. Lauren just said I'm lying. Okay, let's go with this for a moment.
Especially Leonard.
Okay, Lauren, let me be very clear on this, and let's see if Lauren can answer.
Facts.
Lauren, are more than 50% of the people being deported nonviolent criminals? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no, Lauren?
Yes. Nonviolent criminals is all I heard.
What? Lauren, I'm going to ask the question again. I need you to focus and get the MAGA wax out of your ears, okay, Lauren? Even though you have 4 black kids.
No, actually, I'm working.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're working. Okay, so Lauren, more than half the people that have been deported, are they violent criminals that happen to be undocumented, or are they nonviolent criminals? The majority of the people.
If they were violent criminals, they were sent to El Salvador, and if they were nonviolent criminals, they were sent to their country of origin.
So
that is a fact.
Lauren, Lauren, you have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, these people didn't get due process. These people were never convicted in a court of law of a violent crime. In fact, 60 Minutes did a story and a background check on all these people. Over 64% of them never been convicted or even accused of a violent crime. Lauren, what is it like to wake up in the morning and be so ill-informed and uneducated? You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and you are Donald Trump's base.
I have
No, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what, Brian and Lauren? The only thing that stopped the deportations was a judge's order. That is the only reason it stopped. Otherwise, they would have deported, I don't even know how many hundreds or thousands more. It was a judge's order. That's a fact. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact.
The exact
Lauren,
law.
I don't think
hyperbole.
Lauren, guess what? I'll leave you on this. Lauren, I'm done. I'm done with him.
He doesn't have any intelligent argument.
I don't think you deserve any due process, and I think you should be deported to Gaza. We can leave your kids here because I'm sure they're wonderful people, and I feel bad that they have such an ignorant father. Okay, you're very ill-informed, Lauren. You're extremely ignorant. You have no idea what you're talking about. You make claims that are just you-know-what crazy. I mean, he made. First of all, he thinks.
I don't mind debating, but when someone calls in and all they have is a couple of talking points they heard on Fox News and no real facts and no objective criticism,
that was
which I don't mind objective criticism, but what he's saying is just not accurate. And he lives in this world. He goes, oh, yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, it did.
By the way, I like it when I asked him who he voted for, and he got a little defensive.
He didn't want to tell you at first.
I like it how he says, well, I have 4 black kids, so we're supposed to assume that he voted for Kamala Harris. It makes it even worse who he voted for, considering the fact
1 minute into that conversation, I knew who he voted for.
Absurd. So did I.